Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on Winter is Here, Is Your Letting Agency Ready? Today, we're going to be going through some tips and tricks for surviving the season of heating issues. My name's Jessica Doobie, and I'm the Product Training Manager here at Fixflo, and I'm going to be co-hosting this morning's webinar with Derek.
Hi there, my name's Derek Turney. I'm the software sales lead over at Help Me Fix. I do the front end of the process, including the sales process and client onboarding. I worked in property management for about 16 years at various levels, so I understand the pain points and pressure property management can come under.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's lovely to have you on here with me today, Derek. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. And I just want to thank everyone for their time this morning. I do understand it is a very busy time in the property industry at the moment. So thank you so much for joining us today. This webinar is, of course, being recorded, and we will send you a recording by the end of the day tomorrow. So please keep an eye out for that. You can, of course, watch any sections back and share it with any colleagues if you wish. Today's webinar will take about an hour to get through. That does depend on questions, and we would highly encourage that if you have any questions, whether they're for myself or Derek, please do get them over to us in the Q&A section of the Zoom webinar bar. We would be really, really happy to hear from you today. Brilliant. So we're just going to start with an agenda so you know exactly what's coming up in the next hour. So first of all here, we're going to be going through Fixflo's data trends. Then I'm going to be introducing Fixflo's contractor marketplace offering, and we're also going to be looking at what our customers are saying about this. And finally, there will be, of course, that live Q&A. So as I mentioned, any questions at all, please do pop them in that Q&A button for me. We'd be so happy to hear from you. Again, Derek's here to answer questions as well, particularly around Help Me Fix. But as you can see, this is an example here on the screen. Just get your questions over. We'll answer them at the end to keep us on track today. Brilliant. So we're going to start off with talking about Fixflo's data, and we're going to be talking about issues being reported in the winter months. So as you can see here on this slide, this is showing kind of winter last year, and we can see that if you were comparing, for example, June 2022 to the very beginning of winter of November 2022, an additional 33,000 issues were actually reported in November compared with June last year. Now, this probably doesn't come as a surprise to anybody that more issues are, of course, reported in the winter months, but we just wanted to showcase to you what the Fixflo data is showing. And this is something that we've seen year on year, where the number of issues reported really does skyrocket in the winter. We are expecting a particularly cold winter coming up in the next few months. So we really do need to kind of prepare ourselves best we possibly can for the winter months and for these additional issues being reported. Of course, with the more issues that are reported, you are then going to need to get more contractors out to fix the issues which are being reported. And I'm not sure if any of you were on my webinar that I posted earlier in July this year with my colleague Milan, but we were talking there about the contractor shortage. And just to give you an idea, between 2019 and 2022, the UK actually lost around 30,000 contractors. So with that shortage and with the higher demand of needing contractors to come out, you can actually see kind of higher prices. So having something in place really can make a difference in the winter months when you have got a larger surge of issues coming. I'm sure as well last weekend, people did kind of feel the effects of the storm that was around last weekend and probably had a high number of issues being reported. So again, we're going to be talking about how you can best prepare for these winter months in just a moment. Now, as Derek mentioned, he was in the property management industry for around 16 years. So Derek, I want to pass over to you here and talk to you about your kind of experience of property management during the winter months and what effects that can have on agents' time and the agency business in general.
Absolutely, thank you, Jessica. So, as Jessica rightly mentioned, with an increase of issues, you get a lot of different problems. Contractor shortages being a really big one. Not just the lack of them in the marketplace, but their general availability. You might have your favourite contractor you don't see having changed much in the last few years, but If you pick up the phone, are they able to go today like they were in the summer? Probably not. Come along with that is the, obviously Jessica mentioned as well, the cost increase from contractors, at the same time as having a lot of pressure on from landlords to keep costs down, get multiple quotes. It really, really builds during that period because, nearly double the number of issues means that you're doubling down on your work with maintenance, and then some. There's also increased pressures from tenants as well. And I think we're going to touch on that in a little bit later. You really feel it during the winter months. You want to have a nice, relaxing Christmas. But a lot of the time you're really worried about what's going to be coming around the corner. Christmas Eve was always a bit of a tricky day, just seeing what comes in. And obviously with those contractors looking to clock off, tenants need things fixed still.
100%. Thank you so much for your insight there, Derek. And I'm sure this is resonating with many of you who are watching this, who were perhaps there last year or the year before, how winter can be extremely stressful when, as Derek says, this should be a time of family and looking forward to spending some time to celebrate the festivities. So as well as talking about the number of issues which are reported over the winter, because as we can see, that really does increase, we also want to know about what kind of issues are being reported. So this slide here is showing us which issues are most heavily affected by winter. So this is comparing issues which are reported in the winter months compared to other months during the year, to other seasons, during the year. So the issue which has the winter has the biggest effect on is mold. This is what we can see from our Fixflo data. We do track a lot of things here at Fixflo, and mold is actually, there's an increase of over 200% of issues being reported in the winter months for mold. You can see that 3 of the issues here as well are to do with heating. Now, when it comes to heating being reported as an issue during, for example, the summer months, that really isn't such a big impact on occupiers. They can wait. It's not seen as an urgent issue or as an emergency. However, in the winter, if an occupier has an issue where they cannot turn on their boiler or they cannot get their heating to turn on, then that really does become a much higher priority, and it does become either an urgent issue or even an emergency. Especially if you've got vulnerable occupiers living at any of your properties, then that is something where you will need to kind of have a contractor on hand that you can rely on to kind of go out very, very quickly. So you can see here kind of what issues are most heavily affected here by winter. Derek, I don't know if you've kind of got anything more to say on that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously with the winter comes the urgency, like you've mentioned. I also found that there's an increase in expectation from tenants over the last few years. You'd often come in on a Monday morning and from a Friday night report, and the tenant's kind of half expecting you to have done something already before you've started work. So it's really key with these types of issues to get on top of them quickly, and show the tenant there's positive movement on it as well. Using the Fixflo service. You can notify, you have different automations you can use, and you've got comments and stuff and so on to tenants. And it's great to be able to use that in conjunction with perhaps Help Me Fix, where they've spoken with a qualified engineer and know that issue is being progressed. So that on Monday morning, it's not what's going to happen. It's I've spoken with somebody and we know what the next step's going to be.
Yes, of course. Excellent. And to provide that service to your occupiers, that's also a fantastic offering, as we've spoken about landlords before, but it is a fantastic offering for your landlords to be able to say to them, your occupiers won't report something on a Friday night and not hear anything at all until sometime on Monday. Instead, you can actually get issues resolved very, very quickly and over that weekend. So we're going to be talking about kind of what the offering is very shortly. But yeah, tenant expectations are definitely increasing, and it is good to be able to offer them that service.
Perfect.
Brilliant. And here we're talking again about the types of issues reported in the winter. Now, this is our data from winter last year. This probably again comes as no surprise, but these are the top 5 issues which were reported last year in the winter. So first up here, we've got water leaks. So these were the most common issues reported, not just last winter, but also the winter before. So one thing I want to talk about with water leaks is if you leave a leak and it doesn't get resolved kind of the quickest that it can, or you do kind of leave it and it's just taking a while to get resolved because you're struggling to find a contractor, or you're waiting on quotes, or you don't have anything in place, so maybe this is reported on a Friday night and nobody sees it until, say, Monday morning, then as the leak kind of progresses, it can actually have a detrimental effect on the property. So in order to make sure that the property is staying safe and it is kind of being kept up to scratch, then it is kind of obviously better for you to have something in place here. So making sure that things don't get worse than they needed to, essentially. The second most kind of or the second top issue that was reported last winter was boiler issues. So they shot up 76% between November and December 22 compared to the 2 months before. Of course, it is boiler season now. People are starting to turn their heating on because the temperatures are dropping. And this is when people do start to see those issues. And as Derek and I mentioned previously, the urgency of an issue with a boiler issue in the winter compared to the summer is much, much higher. Occupiers are expecting to get these issues resolved quicker in order to keep them warm during the winter months. So that is something that is often reported in winter. Third, here we have bathroom issues, and that can be, so broken extractor fans, for example, are a leading cause of damp and mold reports. There is actually a way through Fixflo to resolve issues on the spot, which we're going to talk about. And a big one of those is around mold and mildew. So we'll talk about that in a slide in just a moment. Radiator issues again, so this is all to do with heating. They are 2 times as common from November to March 23 than in the previous period. So again, like I say, this is the time that people are starting to turn their heating on, starting to notice these issues, and these issues are much kind of a higher urgency. And finally, also kitchen issues is in this top 5 as well. Derek, have you got anything that you'd like to add to this slide?
I think just emphasising again the urgency of some of these issues. A water leak that's left could just get worse very, very quickly and cause further damage to property. And it's unfortunately there's a blame culture that goes around a little bit, and property management is often the one that gets the finger pointed at them, not doing things quick enough, not getting stuff done quickly, where you might be trying your absolute hardest. But that contractor that you need for that leak is currently tied up on another job, and it comes back round to contractor shortages, unfortunately, which is a real problem in the marketplace.
Perfect. Okay, well, look, let's not despair, because there's definitely things you can do about it. And this is what Fixflo and Help Me Fix are here for, as well as another solution called PropCall. So let's have a little look about Fixflo's contractor marketplace offering. Now, this is essentially a 3-layered solution, and it starts on the left-hand side of the screen here with Fixflo, where Fixflo can help to filter out on average 21% of issues using our customizable guidance and advice pop-ups before they even get reported. So that can be really, really helpful. We're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail in just a moment. So you've got Fixflo first of all, then the second layer here is in the middle of the screen, and this is Help Me Fix. Now, Derek's going to be talking about this in just a moment, but the use of Fixflo's video maintenance solution, which is powered by Help Me Fix, can help to resolve or diagnose between 70 and 80% of issues on the spot. And then finally, the third layer, the third and final layer is actually PropCall, which can allow you to instruct real emergency issues onto PropCall, who can send out a contractor within 4 hours. So that takes away the need for you to try and get a contractor on site really quickly for these urgent issues and emergencies. And instead, you can actually rely on Fixflo's contractor marketplace. So just to let you know, I will be launching a poll a little bit later in the webinar to see if anyone would like us to reach out to you about the contractor marketplace offering, and we do help you with the full setup as well. So bear with me, that poll will be launched very shortly. We're just going to go into each of these kind of offerings in a little bit more detail just now. So I'm going to start off with the first layer, which is, of course, Fixflo. I imagine that most of you on here are Fixflo customers, and so are using Fixflo. So you're probably already aware of our guidance and advice pop-ups, but these really are absolutely brilliant as they are fully customizable. So we've added templates for you, which will pop up as occupiers are reporting issues, which can help to filter out, as we've got here, around 21% of issues, and they can help occupiers resolve issues, which essentially they can resolve themselves at home. So it could be like mold issues, which is shown here on the screen, which, as we've just seen, is a really kind of key issue that is reported over the winter months. It can also help them with things like light bulbs and light fittings. It can help them with boiler issues, kind of first time fixes that they can try safely at home. And also it can provide them with this advice being provided to them. It almost educates them so that they can resolve issues themselves at home going forward. You can even embed videos onto these pop-ups, which display straight away and play within the pop-up itself, so they don't have to click out to view that video. And these can as well just help them with instructions so they can kind of follow the videos. And we do have, I'm sure many of you are aware of Fixflo Academy. There is a course available on Fixflo Academy about how to customize the occupier side of Fixflo, which is all about these guidance and advice pop-ups. And it shows you exactly how you can change them. It shows you how you can embed videos. And it really is a very, very good course. Fixflo Academy can be easily signed up to. It is completely free of charge, and you can simply select the course from the course catalogue within there. If anyone has any questions about that, please do pop it in the Q&A. I can, of course, reach out to you separately as well after this with that course, the kind of link, so you can sign straight up. But it really is worth checking your guidance and advice pop-ups, especially with the winter coming up, to make sure that you're making the most out of those. Brilliant. So that's the first layer. Second layer is Help Me Fix, and I'm going to hand you over to Derek.
Thanks very much, Jessica. So Help Me Fix is a video triage service. We connect a resident of property to a qualified engineer over a video link. Effectively, this is a really smooth process for your tenants. They would report an issue. We utilize Copilot to instruct us for the issues that we are active in and appropriate for. We have a group of mainly retired, semi-retired engineers. So they've been on the tools for a long time. They've got a lot of experience and they know what they're looking at straight away. And we connect them within a few minutes. It says 5 minutes here. They generally get the SMS with a link very, very quickly. Just go for a few checks and then speak to an engineer. We can what we call have a positive effect on 70 to 80% of calls. So that's either permanently resolving, so you don't need somebody to attend a property because we've solved it with a tenant, or we can, if we don't do that, we can look to diagnose or temporarily repair. So a leak from a toilet, for instance, we can get that toilet isolated until somebody can come and fix it. But it really reduces down the urgency of a problem. If there's parts needed, our engineers will look to try and identify and recommend parts wherever possible. We dramatically reduce down the need for an out-of-hours attendance. So the fear for me, again, on a weekend was coming on a Monday morning. I don't know who might have been to the property for what. With Help Me Fix, it's only the genuine emergencies that are getting triggered across to prop call, and that a qualified engineer has overseen it. So it's not just somebody that's on the end of a telephone answering the call. It is somebody that's been on a video call. They've physically seen the situation for themselves and determined that a call out will have a positive effect on that situation, and nothing else can be done to prevent the need for an attendance. So we reduce down by about 96% in some cases the need for an emergency attendance to a property. We have some clients we're working on where we actually haven't said that an emergency is needed on any of their calls, but anywhere between 5 and 10% is a good kind of remit for us of emergency call outs.
That sounds absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, Derek. And yeah, being able to properly triage an emergency issue is something that we know that agents do struggle with sometimes. So this can be honestly such a brilliant solution. Just to let you all know, this this 3-layered solution that we are talking about, you don't need to necessarily sign up to both Help Me Fix and PropCall. You can do one without the other. We are just showing you how it would work if you were to use all 3 together. So if you've already got Fixflo, you could just decide to actually just go with Help Me Fix, or you could decide that actually just PropCall's right for you, or you could use the 3 together. It's completely up to you as to what you would like. Again, I will be launching that poll very, very shortly to see if anyone would like us to reach out. We'd be so happy to. It's absolutely no obligation. And also we would help you with your Copilot rules to make sure things are set up properly. There is also a Copilot course available on Fixflo Academy as well for anyone that wants to understand how to use that. That's all around automation, which can also be brilliant over the winter months. And I have also noticed that no questions have come in yet in the Q&A. So if you do have any questions at all, please remember to pop your questions in there. We would be so happy to hear from you. In the meantime, I'm just going to move on to the next and final kind of offering here. So this is PropCall, which is a 24/7 emergency call out. So this is looking at what your emergency issues are and getting them resolved as quickly as possible, which will help your occupier. And it will also, of course, lead to a faster fix to protect the property and keep your landlords happy as well. So just to let you know, if you were to use Help Me Fix and they were to say, yes, this is a real emergency and send it on to PropCall, the occupier then would be called within 30 minutes and they can get a contractor out to attend the property within 4 hours for real emergencies. This is obviously an absolutely brilliant offering because if an occupier was to report an issue, say on Christmas Eve, rather than waiting for somebody to come back into the office and potentially ruin their Christmas, instead they would have somebody out there to resolve this real emergency. Also, as Derek was mentioning, with the video maintenance solution, which is powered by Help Me Fix, if you have got a qualified and retired engineer on the phone, on the video call, sorry, to the occupier, they will be able to take down really detailed and specific notes, ensuring that PropCall actually do have the correct tools to get out to the occupier as quickly as possible with the correct equipment. So that can also, again, make a real big difference. Just to let you know, with PropCall, all of our contractors are qualified, insured, and also fully vetted as well. So that is all something that you can kind of rest assured for.
Can I just jump in here quickly?
Yeah, of course you can.
Thank you. I get a lot of questions when I'm talking to our clients and onboarding people about how we know for sure that somebody will attend a property. And this is why this is where PropCall comes in, and it's a real good solution to have, because a lot of clients are looking at potentially using their own contractors, but then there's the what if they don't attend, whereas with PropCall you don't have that what if, you don't have that worry, because they have their SLAs to attend the property, and you know it's in safe hands, and that there's definitely somebody on the end of the instruction picking it up and dealing with it. Also, the 3-tiered out of hours option is unique, having Fixflo on the front end with those 21% being addressed first time on the reporting, Help Me Fix limiting that further, and PropCall having a human being who's trained in property reviewing it. You know, with your landlords, if they ever question an out of hours call out, you know that there's, with the fully joined up solution, there's at least 3 opportunities for the tenant to be calmed and wait for working hours. And if somebody goes out, you know, it's genuine, it can't be avoided at all.
Yeah, 100%. And it does get around that issue of contractor shortages, as we spoke about earlier. As Derek says, if Help Me Fix send this on and you send it on to one of your contractors, how do you know that they're working? How do you know they'll get out there? They might not. They might have signed off for the weekend. They might have signed off for Christmas, the evening, whatever it might be. Whereas with PropCall, you do have that certainty that actually your properties, your occupiers are being looked after 24/7.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. So just to kind of put this as a visual, so say an issue is reported. So we're starting, of course, here on the left-hand side. If an issue is reported on Fixflo, so somebody's on Fixflo, something's gone wrong, they go to report the issue. As you can see, by using Fixflo, 21% of those issues don't even come through to you, because you've got your guidance and advice pop-ups. As I say, do have a look at the course on Fixflo Academy to make these the best that they can be. There is no additional charge to do that. It just makes sense to make sure you're really maximizing those guidance and advice pop-ups. and 21% of those issues can there be closed just using those guidance and advice pop-ups. So of that, around 80% of issues, 5% of those could be triaged as a potential emergency. So if you're using this 3-layered solution, which, as Derek mentioned, is unique, then you've got those 5% of issues being sent on to Help Me Fix. Now, as we discussed earlier, between 70 and 80% of those issues will be fixed temporarily, permanently, or diagnosed by the contractor on the video call to the occupier. So they've got that peace of mind. They've got someone helping them there to see whether or not this issue can be resolved. And in 8 out of 10 cases, they will be, even if it's temporarily stopped or just diagnosed. Then we've got here a percentage, around 25%, which are triaged as a non-emergency. And of those 4% of cases which are triaged as a genuine emergency, they can then go on to prop call, which have an 80% first time fix rate. Now, with that first time fix rate, that is helped, of course, by Help Me Fix, and with those fantastic detailed and specific notes that those semi-retired or retired contractors can provide onto prop call to make sure that they do have the tools in place to go out to the occupier. And don't forget that the occupier will be called within half an hour of reporting that issue as well for when it goes on to prop call. Derek, do you have anything to add to this slide here?
I don't think so. I think you've summed it up really well. Sorry, Jessica.
No, brilliant. Fantastic. Okay. To me, this really does seem like a no-brainer, but what I'm going to do is I am going to launch the poll. And now, whilst that poll is live, we're going to have a little look at what our customers are saying. Derek did some fantastic interviews with some different customers, and they're all here on this video. So this is looking at Help Me Fix's solution. This isn't actually anything to do with prop call, but this is what our customers are saying.
Oh, it was super simple because essentially Fixflo obviously was already kind of set up, and all we then had to do was go through and add a co-pilot rule, which, you know, you walked me through. And you know, we made sure to add in things like warranties for people, because I think that's always a concern, and just made sure that we kind of locked it in a way that we were all really comfortable with.
So the Help Me Fix solution started through a conversation with my business partner, which was when something goes wrong and you call you call your property management team, it's very difficult for them to triage the issue. And actually, that's what the person at the end of the phone needs. And he used an example where his fireplace at home broke, and he phoned the people that manufactured it for him, and he said that the woman could not have been more helpful when he was calling saying, "Oh, I need an engineer." Actually, I'm not sure you do. Have you tried this? And talked him through a few things, and he fixed it. And it was like, wouldn't it be fantastic if we could offer that service to tenants? And I was like, well, yes, tenants and landlords. Yeah, absolutely, it would be. So we actually started thinking about trying to find retired engineers that we could employ. So we could employ them directly. We could sort of take them on a 6 months trial basis to see if we could make the project work. And then we got pushed in the direction of you. I think somebody mentioned to us, oh, actually, there is a company that would look to do that, and we got put in touch with you. So the problem we were trying to solve is the speed of dealing with the issue, and the service level that then gives to the tenant and the landlord. Because waiting 2 or 3 days for somebody to come out and look at your tap that's broken, or your boiler that's gone wrong, or your electrics, or whatever it might be, was probably an industry standard. You know, those things would happen. You're reliant on contractors to go out, and you know, you can't expect every property manager that's at the end of the phone to be skilled enough to triage something in the right way, because, you know, life experience says that, well, I know I wouldn't have been able to triage very many things, because that's why I sit behind a desk all day. But, you know, actually, if we could find somebody that could do that, it would be a really, really great level of service to be able to give to people. So that's the problem. That was one of the problems that we wanted to solve. Another one of the problems was that the job of a property manager has become much bigger than it used to be. There's been a lot of legislation changes which have really increased the workload for a property manager. There was a perfect storm at the back end of last year in terms of we had quite a warm few months into November, and then everybody turned their boilers on at the same time, and then they all went wrong, and then Christmas came, and then more stuff went wrong, and it probably wasn't the most fun job to be sat in at the time, because it was extremely high pressured. You've got lots of stressed out people to try and deal with. So we wanted to make the job better, and we wanted to make the job much more manageable. And yeah, we've definitely achieved those things through the integrated solution.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's, in the grand scheme of things, still very early days, but what we have seen, as I mentioned, is increased productivity. We've increased our internal customer service score, which is a reduction in complaints specifically regarding communication to do with maintenance reports. Reduce costs both internally and for landlords. So a big benefit of Help Me Fix has been, even if a video call triage can't solve the issue, we get a very detailed report, and there's a lot more chance of a first time fix. So we've made big cost savings for our landlords from that point of view already, which has been fantastic. And then team engagement. So a lot of out of hours providers still need quite heavy involvement from the team, whether that's through escalation or, you know, what do I do with this? Because Fixflo itself is so customizable, we've been able to decide, right, this is an emergency, this isn't. And the co-pilot rule that works with Help Me Fix is so intuitive that has reduced any need for our touch points out of hours completely so far, which means that you don't have people coming in after being on the phone at 2 a.m, and so the next working day, you know, the engagement is much higher. No, so the big three things for us, so from a customer point of view, our landlords, it's the saving on the call out fees, increased tenant satisfaction due to the quick responses, and then the increased productivity from a business point of view through that reduction of duplication.
Staff retention and recruitment. So property manager jobs were at times hard to fill, and the longevity of somebody doing the role in its previous format wasn't as long as we'd have liked it to have been, because it's a big job and there's a lot to be able to try and cope with. We've definitely seen our ability to retain the talent that we've got and create a better working environment for them be really successful, along with being able to recruit property managers, whether that be that have worked for other agents or haven't, and actually explaining to them the way that we utilize technology to improve the service standards to our customers and the experience for our members of the team. So that's, I'm really proud of that. I think it's one of the things that has worked extremely well for us. How else does it work? For tenants, it works brilliantly. I think, again, the reality is, if something goes wrong, you can have an engineer on a video call within 5 minutes. That's outstanding. It really is. And the feedback that we've had from tenants that have gone through that experience has been superb. So we know that it's working for them. For landlords, we're saving money for landlords because we're saving money on call out charges. Not only and then the wear and tear for the properties. You think if there's a problem that sits there for 3 or 4 days, it's just going to get worse. Actually, if it's been diagnosed or partially dealt with or permanently dealt with, or even just seen within 5-10 minutes of it being reported, we're able to take action so much quicker on behalf of the landlord to get the problem solved. So it saves the money on the call out charge that would have taken 24, 48 hours sometimes for us to get somebody out there anyway, and it's meaning that there's less wear and tear on the property because issues are being rectified much quicker.
Wow, we're recording this in September 2023. Yes. And we know what's coming. Boiler season. Everyone's going to turn their boilers on. We're going to have all of the problems that's going to come with that. So for me, Help Me Fix Through the Winter is actually really where it kind of comes alive, and you really feel the benefits. Like, we feel it in the summer for in a small way, but when you add the layers of boilers and all the issues you get with those, you suddenly see the value. Also, there's been a distinct lack of engineers to physically visit these properties across the nation at the moment because of the high volumes. And so it just helps that process as well, because we're then not having to scramble around to get somebody there and leave your tenants super cold, when actually it was a couple of bits that they could have fixed over Help Me Fix's triage line.
So, okay, excellent. So I hope that was helpful to you all in terms of looking at how Help Me Fix in particular has had a really brilliant effect on agents. As you can see from what some people were saying, it's actually had a really big impact on agent happiness as well, and being able to recruit more agents and keep agents as well within their jobs. So that's probably something we didn't quite touch on throughout the webinar, but that really can be a brilliant thing to have, like a really happy workforce. Obviously, Derek, these were your interviews. Do you have anything to add on to any of that?
Absolutely. I'd like to highlight one point, which is all three of those clients are also PropCall clients. So as part of the onboarding process with Help Me Fix, we ensured that the PropCall process was nice and smooth. And the conversations we were having kind of were not just Help Me Fix focused, but it was Fixflo and PropCall as well. We were looking at a full solution. We actually did a webinar on that a few weeks ago, about a month ago now, and with those clients, we did a Q&A in there as well, and yeah, generally it was about the full joined up solution too. But yeah, no, it was great to speak to some clients and get some actual feedback. And I promise you, we didn't bribe any of them to say anything they did. That is all genuine comments from them.
Fantastic. Excellent. So the poll is still open. I can see a number of people haven't yet responded on the poll. Please do let us know. Would you like access to emergency contractors? You can see the benefits here on the screen. As I say, it will be a no obligation phone call. Somebody will reach out to you from Fixflo. And as Derek's mentioned as well, we really will help you with the setup. And you can basically tailor it on your own Copilot rules to decide which issues, which are available with Help Me Fix and PropCall, you would like to triage through to them. So the benefits are here. So this can help you to triage urgent issues and emergencies, saving your team time. It can help you to save your landlord's money, and it can also improve your occupier's experience. We're about to jump into the Q&A. I would recommend people stay around for the Q&A, because sometimes these questions might be something that's actually been niggling on your mind, and getting these questions answered can be brilliant for everybody to hear. Derek, before we move on to the Q&A, do you have anything final that you would like to add?
No, I think I'm keen to get into the questions and see what we've got, what you guys have got for us. So yeah, let's crack on.
Okay, fantastic. So the first question is from Helena. Helena, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. Her question is, how many contractors do you typically have on standby for Help Me Fix and PropCall? Derek, can I leave this question with you?
Absolutely. So Help Me Fix has around 45 engineers. We are recruiting at the moment and going through an onboarding process with quite a few more. The reason for that is because it's winter. We're getting a lot busier. But we always increase our workforce sustainably. So as we're onboarding clients, as the demand gets higher, we're bringing more people on. We don't have them on standby all year necessarily, because actually in the summer people and the video engineers get disengaged with the service, and then we see them tail off, so we make sure that they're going to be busy from day one. But yeah, that's roughly how many Help Me Fix have. PropCall, I don't know if it might be best for you to answer, Jess. I have a little bit of information about PropCall if you'd like me to try it.
I don't have actually how many contractors are on standby for PropCall. Do you know?
No, I don't know a total number, but I know that they have full UK coverage. So if there is a problem, they have their SLAs to attend, and they have people available to attend throughout the UK.
Brilliant. And as Derek mentioned earlier as well, they do have those SLAs in place. So you can be rest assured that with PropCall, if you have got them, that they will meet those SLAs, and they will be there on time, and they will reach out to the contract occupier, as well, within that 30-minute time frame too. Derek, I don't know if you this answer. There's another question that's come in. Thank you so much for joining us. Is Propcool active in the Republic of Ireland? So you said it is within the UK. Is it just the UK?
I don't. The last time I heard, it wasn't available in the Republic of Ireland. That was a good 6 months ago now, so it may would have changed during that period. I think, is it Fiumbar? It might be worth, if you're interested in finding out a bit more, clicking on the poll saying yes, I want to know more, and I'm sure the rep from Fixflo will be able to fill you in a bit more.
Yeah, and Fiumbar, if you've already selected no, just let me know in the Q&A if you would like to change that answer to yes, and of course we will include you there as well. That's absolutely no problem at all. I'm so sorry that I don't know the answer to hand, but yeah, get in touch. Let us know on the poll. We can get in touch with you, and somebody will be able to let you know about that. Brilliant. This is definitely a question for Derek. This is a question from an anonymous attendee. Well, thank you for joining us this morning. It's been great having you here. Are issues sorted by Help Me Fix chargeable?
Help Me Fix works on a tiered system, so it depends on the outcome of the job with us. If we permanently resolve, we charge a bit higher. Where we temporarily diagnose, temporarily repair or diagnose, we charge a little bit less. And when we have what we call a no resolve, which is, you saw the stats, is about 20% of the time we don't have a resolve because it's significant issues, internal boiler issues, etc. We don't charge. So that's probably where I'm going to leave it for now. Anonymous attendee, if you're interested in finding out more, again, I'd suggest that perhaps we look to get you on a demo, and I can go through a bit more detail with you. But it's a tiered system, and it's definitely going to be less than you would pay for a contractor to call out to the property.
Perfect. For the person that did ask that question, we don't know your name, but again, please select yes on the poll if you would like us to reach out. You can definitely talk more to Derek about costs there. If you've selected no, again, just let me know who you are on the Q&A and we can pop you into that yes answer. Again, some people still haven't answered the poll. Get the poll on your screen, get answering, let us know if you'd like us to reach out. There is one more question. Tracy, hi. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you're well. Another one about Help Me Fix. Derek, I'm so glad you're on this call. Is Help Me Fix only for emergencies, or can it be used for all maintenance?
Oh, Tracy, I think I love you. No, Help Me Fix is not just an emergency service. We've been described previously as a great option for out of hours, and it's where we started. If I'm completely honest, that was 4 years ago. We have developed now. So again, the 3 clients that we saw answering those questions earlier, they are using Help Me Fix as a 24-hour solution for them. We don't cover absolutely everything, so we try and make sure that we're only going to be covering what leads to value. So, pests, gardening works, roofing, we don't often cover those kind of areas, but we have quite a large number of clients at the moment that are using us for all issues. And then when it comes to an out-of-hours situation, we just utilize Copilot in a slightly different way. And we can work with you on kind of what you see the value in as well.
Fantastic. Excellent. Thank you so much, Derek. And thank you everybody who asked a question. We are going to stay online for another 5 minutes because there's no other questions have come through. I think we kind of overscheduled the number of questions we thought that might crop up. If you are leaving us now, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been a real pleasure going through how you and your letting agency can prepare for the winter, which is just around the corner. There will be a very short feedback survey when you leave this webinar today. I would really appreciate if you could just take a minute of your time. It might not even take that long, just to let us know how you got on today's webinar. We do look at all feedback. It all does go up to upper management as well, and it does allow us as well to make changes and make sure that we are providing the best webinars we possibly can here at Fixflo. As the product training manager here, I really do care about that. So getting your feedback is absolutely invaluable. So please do let us know. And yeah, Derek and I will stay around for another 5 minutes for any further questions that you do have. So do get them in. Derek?
Thanks everybody for your questions and your engagement today. It'd be great if anybody does have one before you pop off to just pop it in the Q&A and we'll be glad to answer it for you. But thanks everyone for your time.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Like I say, we'll just going to mute myself now, but we'll stay on for until 10 to if any other questions do come in. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. A question has in fact come in. Joy, hello. Thank you for your question. Do you have Help Me Fix for emergencies in Aberdeen, Scotland?
Yes, we do indeed. Joy, thank you for your question. Help Me Fix is the completely remote side of the service. Our engineers are dotted throughout the country, so effectively it doesn't really matter where the issue is, because they resolve it over the video call. In terms of the onward repair, so if Help Me Fix says yes, it's an emergency, yes, Brockcall do have engineers available in Scotland.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Derek. And thank you, Joy.
Thanks, Joy.
Perfect. So another question has come in from Joy. Can we have an idea of the costs so we can let our landlords know? Can that be sent by email? Joy, I'm just going to jump in here. I would recommend that what you do is you select yes on the poll, and then what we can do is we can reach out to you. We can have a chat about costs and things like that. Derek, do you have anything that they can use for landlords?
Yes, indeed. As part of our onboarding process, we offer out actually a template to use for landlords and tenants, because Help Me Fix is a very different kind of service. We do offer out a kind of a how to introduce template. In terms of costs, yeah, the Fixflo guys have got a rate card for us. So with my answer earlier on about the costs, the Fixflo guys are able to provide you with a breakdown with a template for that too. But we have quite a thorough onboarding process because of the setup it takes our side as well. And we'll go through all of that with you if you do decide to take up the service.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Joy, if you haven't selected yes on the poll and you would like to change your answer, I'm not sure how easy it is to change your answer once it's selected. Let me know in the Q&A. Alternatively, you can always reach out to us directly here at Fixflo. By going to your Fixflo site, there is a need help widget just here. And here you can, for example, contact support and say that you would like to know more about our contractor marketplace. We also have a contractor marketplace tab on the left-hand menu sidebar just here, where you can also get in touch with us here and find out more. So there's a find out more about the marketplace section here. But of course, if you've answered yes, Joy, I can see you have, which is brilliant. We will be in touch with you. Depending on, again, the number of leads, it will depend on how that will depend on how long it takes for us to get in touch, but hopefully by the end of this week. Excellent, guys, we're going to leave it here then. Thank you so much for joining us both today. And please, if you do have a chance, oh, there's another question that's come in, so we'll just answer that. I was just going to say, please don't forget that little feedback survey. It will take about a minute of your time, and I would really, really appreciate it. This is another question from an anonymous attendee. It's for you, Derek. Can Help Me Fix be used on a case-by-case basis? Or would, for example, all heating Fixflos go to Help Me Fix?
That's a really good question. We do utilize Copilot, so you can automate it to us. However, you can also manually instruct to Help Me Fix. So once you've gone through our onboarding process, we can set you up, and effectively you can instruct us just like you instruct any normal contractor. We would recommend co-piloting a certain proportion of it, at least the out of hours side of things. But during the day, you have that flexibility and that control should you choose to.
100%. So if, for example, you had a landlord that said, love Fixflo, I just want to use my own contractor for every single job, emergency or not, you could then have a co-pilot rule to make sure that for that particular landlord, for all their properties, nothing goes to any other contractors other than theirs. You can be really, really specific using Copilot, and it is Copilot that you use in order to make sure that the issues you want and the properties you want do go through to Help Me Fix. Excellent. We're going to leave it here. Thank you so much for everyone who joined me. As I say, if you do have a chance to fill out the feedback, I would really appreciate that. I'm just ending the poll now. If you did answer yes, of course, we will be in touch. Thanks so much. Thank you, Derek, for coming on here today as well.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.